You want to charge her about, my math is right, about a month and a quarter of what she pays for rent as late fees.
Your Honor, this is Lincoln.
All right.
Hi, McDonald.
All right. Take your hand back. There you go. All right. All right, where are we on this case? There was 1760 owed the last time that we were here. We talked about the late fee issue. Were you guys able to work something out?
She paid July rent after.
We're barely a minute in, and the numbers are already flying. Rent, late fees, utilities. It's a financial jigsaw puzzle. But watch closely, because buried in this math is a legal twist that could change everything.
And July late fees and the utility.
So this amount is May, June, and July late fees?
Yes.
Okay, and go ahead. And what else?
There's a $70.86, and before she set up her DTE account, so I paid for her.
$70.80?
Yeah, 86 cents.
86 cents. And then what else?
And
anything else?
55 court fee.
For the court fee?
Yes.
All right. So if I take this 55 and if I take the $70, $55, and then the 86 cents, but if I do that, so of this 865, 86, all the rest of that are late fees.
Yes. It's on the lease. $5 per day is the lease.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I think. Do you have that broken down? Or, so how many, hang on, give me 865. Well, I can do it myself. That's okay. 125, 04. So I have $740 in late fees. So how many months is that?
That's from May. She hasn't paid late fee since.
Hold on a second. I'm trying to, I'm not asking what she didn't pay.
Okay.
I'm saying this $740 are late fees for how many months?
3 months. Actually, July
Okay.
she paid it on 11th. That's earlier. So that's only count for 10 days. In July for July rent only.
I don't know what that meant.
Like May, she didn't pay late fee.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
So for July, her late fee was only $50.
Yes, July, there's a $50 plus 5 days. So on the lease, it says if after 5 days she didn't pay, or whoever the tenants, well, $50 initial fee, and the plus 5 days times 5. So that's $75 on July before she paid. Then $50 on, plus 5 days per day. On June rent, that was $170. And May rent was the most.
That all sounds really nice and pretty, but listen, I'm trying to figure out that even if, give me 740 minus 75.
665.
So if I take July out of the picture,
Yeah.
and it's $75, she has paid for 2 months. You want to charge her $665 in late fees.
For the May rent,
How much is her rent?
the rent is $520 on her portion.
Right. So effectively, just bear with me here. You want to charge her about, my math is right, about a month and a quarter of what she pays for rent as late fees.
Yes, Your Honor. Yeah, because I really encourage tenants.
Hang on a second.
Yeah,
I understand you said yes, Your Honor. Does something sound wrong to you about that? That was a question.
I calculated based on the lease,
Okay,
day by day.
I know what you did. I'll say it again. You're charging her $665 in late fee. Her rent is somewhere around, her portion is around $500.
520, yeah.
You're going to charge her for 2 months late fees that are the equivalent of a month and a quarter of her rent. Now comes my question. Does something sound...
This is where the judge drops the first big reality check. Late fees must actually relate to the cost of collecting rent. Translation: you can't just turn them into a cash penalty machine. Do you think this landlord knew that?
out of your control?
Because I need tenants to follow the lease to pay so that I book on time. But if it's irregular, I'm totally, because her sheet has been
You
individual.
cannot, your late fees on any lease, the law is that they have to be in some way related to the cost of collecting rent. It also indicates that they cannot be liquidated damages. This sounds a whole lot more like liquidated damages than it does related to the cost of collection of rent.
I'll take your advice, Your Honor.
Oh, you don't take my advice. I don't give advice. I give orders. So I understand she may have been late. I get that. But I also understand that you would have to show me that somehow or another you spent $5 every day trying to collect her rent.
Yes.
Outside of the fact that, mind you, a portion of her rent you got already
Yes.
because you get it through the subsidy.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
So that's the other part that's silly about this. You're charging her $5 a day, but part of her rent is guaranteed to you. Oh, is it a HUD subsidy you have, ma'am? Then I think also the $5 a day per their lease is illegal. You can't charge it.
I think that's the lowest charge on the late fee, as I know, from the real estate market. I've talked to another real estate society and society. They provided this number for me.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do, because you're not listening to me. I'm going to send you two out. You go out, figure out what might be a fair amount for her to pay given her circumstances and related to any effort you had to collect it. You guys come back to me with a number. If I don't like the number, I'm going to tell you what it is.
Okay.
Because it seems to me I can talk all day and night long telling you this $5 a day you can't charge. I told you that on Zoom. I'm telling you that today. I'm trying to explain to you why you can't charge it today. You're not listening to me. You're saying it's on paper. That's fine. I don't mind if the agreement between the parties is reasonable. That I don't mind assessing. But this is de facto unreasonable.
Okay, I'll take.
To charge her that. And ma'am, understand something. You may want to teach everybody in the world a lesson. That's not your job to teach everybody a lesson. not your job to teach them to pay on time or to do whatever. Because sometimes, and I see she's got those two little babies there, she's running around at times to robbing Peter to pay Paul. Because that's just life.
Now the judge's patience is wearing thin. The landlord says she's teaching tenants a lesson, but the judge isn't having it. In court, lessons aren't the goal, fair, legal agreements are. Who's really in the wrong here?
That she was behind.
Okay. By the way, there's another portion, and it's security deposit. She started from December 2024, and because I saw her little babies and in the winter, and so I accepted her to move in before the security deposit was paid. So, but it's not paid so far.
Is that in this 865?
No, it's separate.
Well, I'm not dealing with the security deposit. Because you got enough problems with the illegal late fees.
Yeah. But this is also something I need to collect.
You guys go figure out. I'm not dealing with the security deposit. You guys go out.
Okay.
Figure out a reasonable amount.
Mm-hmm.
I'll then determine if it's reasonable, and I'll tell you what she's gonna pay on that, and then I'll tell you how she's gonna pay.
Okay, I got a
Give
question.
you guys time to try to work it out.
Yeah, thank you. And I have a question. When can we give you the response before next in person or online?
Oh, you just go out into those little rooms. You're gonna decide this today.
So we can turn in our result to you.
You go out there, you talk,
Sure.
I'll call your case back up, probably first part of the next block. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Or recalls case, People versus King, or not People versus King versus McDonald. Why are you leaving them back there? They did well. Come on up. They can come up and sit right up here. They came up, sat quietly. They behaved themselves. I don't know. Well, this one was having a, no, just saying. All right, folks.
You are not.
The parties are here. What did we agree on that I'm going to tell you I'm probably not going to let happen?
You want to see? Okay. She said she'll pay the July rent on 23rd. Is that right?
The
July rent. She's still all the July rent, 520 on 23rd of this month.
Didn't she already pay her July rent?
I counted as July rent, but she meant for July 11th. She paid for June, so that's she considered as paying June on July 11th. But I thought that was her July rent. So we saw differently, but I count her payment as part of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I tried to work out July rent. She said she'll pay on 23rd of this month. I accepted. And her last utility bill was $70.86. And she'll pay me after this, or when would you like to? Okay. I appreciated her efforts, and I can cut off her because she paid on June 11th for May rent. That's what she counted for. So I cut off the late fee.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Ma'am, how much is your portion of monthly rent?
520.
Okay. So of this 865.86 that you told me is owed, you're telling me now that 520 of that is actually rent?
July rent.
No, what she's adding is late fees. She's adding the 50 plus $5 per day. July rent is not even added in here, I don't believe.
But because we were thinking the July rent differently, she thought that was I consider as July rent included, but she considered her July rent should be paid later.
No, something's going on.
No, my checks were being garnished, so that's why I fell behind in the first place. So now I'm playing catch up. So I do need to pay July rent, which I will be able to pay this Wednesday in full. But there is late fees. That is,
Here's the heart of the confusion. Was July's payment rent or late fees? This is why record keeping in landlord-tenant cases is critical. A single misapplied payment can snowball into months of disputes. How would you have handled this?
I counted for May, but now I count only for.
This should be easy to figure out. Either she's paid July rent or she hasn't. I'm sitting here, July, they're doing just fine. Leave them alone.
okay.
Okay.
I am. July rent. So, okay, let me ask you this. Is the reason why we're having a problem as to whether or not July rent is included is because she's taken some of that money for late fees?
I don't agree with the late fees. I think I should be charged one late fee per month.
Well, I'll give you the
but-
late fees. But when I sent you guys out,
Uh-huh.
you told me her July rent was paid, that the only thing that
I
she
thought-
owed is this amount. And then we broke it down to where there was $125, basically, because she had the utilities of the 7086 and then the $55 court costs. And that took 125 off of that. Then I asked a very specific question of whether or not whatever was left was late fees. Remember me asking that?
You're so clear-minded. I thank you so much on that. And I counted May rent was not paid, but she counted her May rent was paid on June 11th. That's what we get together when we were in the courtroom. And we figured out, okay, I accepted her as June 11th paid the May rent. But prior, I thought the May rent was not paid at all so far. So that was the difference. So she counted as paid on July, that's 1.5 months later, paid May rent, and then another 1.5 months paid June rent. Then now she's paying the July rent. So I do accept her, explanation. I do. So right now we clarify it as her May rent and the June rent has been paid, but just late. And her July rent will be paid next Wednesday. So I agree with that. We kind of communicated for this.
So I don't care how you put these numbers in. How much are you claiming she owes?
I just cut off her portion as late fee. So I accept your advice. I would charge only $150 for May rent late.
Boom, $150 per month in late fees just got smacked down. The judge points out that it's almost 1/3 of the tenant's actual rent. In legal terms, that's edging toward unconscionable territory, and judges don't let that slide.
Per month, potentially for her late fee. It's almost 1/3 of what her portion of the rent is.
But she was 1.5 months late. How can I manage my property with all this late fees? I mean, all this late, I have to pay tax on time. My tax is pretty high, much more than the rent. So I need to pay off my tax.
Right. And you could also end up owing money if you were charging an illegal late fee. Yes, legally you could.
But I didn't charge it illegally. It's based on the lease, that $50 initial charge and $5 per day. That's the agreement.
You're going to pay your rent on the 23rd, 24th?
Yes, sir.
Get it paid by the 25th. So she's going to pay her July rent by the 25th. there's going to be then a decision on the $865 of late fees for 3 months. I'll give that decision August 1st, 2025 at 12 p.m. So I will give you my decision as to what late fees can properly be charged her. And it's going to be nowhere near that figure. I'm letting you know that right now. I'm going to give you an opportunity because you keep pointing to the lease. You might want to go speak to an attorney. Because if I have to come back and make this decision, and I'm not saying that I'm going to do it, there are going to be certain truth in renting issues that accrue to this tenant, and you could potentially end up owing her money.
But I want a number, if you could honor.
Pardon?
I like to have a number. I don't have idea. How can I manage this?
I can't answer some of that. I can only suggest to you that you may want to go talk to an attorney about what you can charge. I will give you some guidance, and that is that the typical HUD lease, which still has its problems depending on what that person is paying as their portion, will say either $25 to $30 on the 5th, and then $1 per day, which would then be approximately $50, $55 per month as late fee.
How if it's not paid on the month?
Pardon?
How if that is paid after that month or later, even later?
Pardon. There's a whole issue with your accounting because however you're applying her payments are first in, first out. She may have been behind. Well, she just told me she was behind because of a garnishment issue. That's fine. But there's a huge difference between somebody facing almost $740, I guess, late fees for that period in time. And if I were the guidance I'm trying to give you of say 50, 55 a month and are facing $150 late fees, there's a huge difference in that. In particular, where somebody's rent, their portion, which you figured out by a calculation, is 1/3 of her income, basically about 1/3, that you're going to then charge an additional.
And there it is, HUD guidelines, payment application rules, and the massive gap between $55 and $150 per month. The judge is basically saying, you're on the wrong side of the law, and you might owe her money.
She doesn't pay on time. I get it that she should be paying on time. People run into difficulties, but you're not out that entire amount of rent because you're getting a portion of that rent paid. It's her portion that is not being paid, and it's not like she didn't pay it. It's not like she's just bailing. She's just got to figure out how to recoup, get herself back to ground zero. That's all she's trying to do.
Okay.
But she can't get back to ground zero if you keep charging these. She can't get there.
Okay. I accept.
So you guys are going to come back.
So here's where it lands, late fees under heavy legal fire, a landlord warned about possible paybacks, and a tenant given new leverage. What's your take on this ruling? Drop a comment, hit like, and subscribe for more dramatic courtroom moments.